Welcome to Narratizi English. This isn't just a video, this is a wake-up call, a spark, a challenge to the part of you that's been waiting for permission to rise. You've been held back by fear, by doubt, by the voices that said you weren't enough. Maybe you believed them. Maybe you stayed small to feel safe. But deep inside, something refuses to settle. That voice is still alive. That fire hasn't gone out. The truth? Most people never reach their potential, not because they can't, but because they never choose to fight for it. They wait. They hesitate. They dream, but they never act. You don't have time to wait. Your story won't rewrite itself. One choice, one action, one moment of courage, that's all it takes to start transforming your life. This video is your battlefield, your chance to rise above doubt, above comfort, above everything that has held you back. One life, one chance, no regrets, and as you follow along, you'll not only feel the fire within, you'll also sharpen your English, step by step, word by word. Lesson 1. Think like the 1%. Only a small fraction of people ever break free from the ordinary. They don't wait for luck, approval, or perfect conditions. They think differently. Most people wake up and follow the same patterns, looking for comfort and permission. They scroll their phones, check the news, complain about how life isn't fair. They wait for someone to notice them, to push them, to give them a reason to act. But the 1% don't. They act when others hesitate. They move when others pause. They work when no one is watching, not for applause, but for freedom, mental freedom, financial freedom, freedom to live on their own terms. Imagine two people waking up at 6 a.m. Both are tired. Both feel the weight of life. One hits snooze. The other gets up, pushes through fatigue, and starts working on what matters. One delays action. The other takes control. That small choice compounds over weeks, months, and years. One builds habits, skills, momentum. The other builds excuses and regret. The 1% don't wait for motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. What they rely on is habit, discipline, and mindset. They embrace discomfort because they know it's the furnace where strength and character are forged. They don't measure their days by feelings, but by progress, effort, and action. They know failure is part of the process. Rejection, setbacks, and criticism aren't threats. They're lessons. Each obstacle is a chance to refine strategy, to grow sharper, to get closer to the version of themselves they're building. The world may never notice. People may doubt, ignore, or criticize. That doesn't matter, because the 1% work for something far bigger than recognition. They work for results, for freedom, for the peace that comes from knowing they're living deliberately, fully, and without regret. So stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop measuring your worth by applause, likes, or approval. The moment you take control of your mind, your actions, and your focus, you join the ranks of those who create a life without regrets. This is not luck. It's choice. And today, you can make that choice too. Lesson 2. Small actions, big impact. Most people think success comes from big moments, a promotion, a windfall, or a single lucky break. But that's a myth. Success is built overnight. It's built quietly, day by day, choice by choice, action by action. Every small decision matters. Every extra minute spent learning, every extra step taken, every small effort compounds into results that become impossible to ignore. Skipping a workout, delaying a task, ignoring a lesson, each tiny compromise adds up. That's how average is built. Not with one huge failure, but with thousands of small ones repeated without thought. Imagine this. Two people start learning a skill. One practices for 10 minutes every day. The other waits for motivation, skips days, and convinces themselves that small practice doesn't matter. 1 year later, the first person has mastery and progress. The other is still stuck at the starting line, frustrated and blaming circumstances. That's the power of small actions. The people who achieve extraordinary results know this secret. They treat every action, no matter how small, as essential. They don't wait for a perfect day, perfect conditions, or perfect motivation. They act now. They take responsibility for their habits, their choices, and the small steps that lead to big outcomes. Your life is a collection of these small moments. How you spend your mornings, your afternoons, even your thoughts, they all compound. Every choice is either building you up or breaking you down. So stop ignoring the little things. Stop thinking, it doesn't matter. Because it does. Every small step is a brick in the foundation of your life. Every small action, done consistently, shapes your future in ways that big, sporadic actions never can. The truth is simple. Big success is nothing more than a series of small victories repeated day after day. Pay attention to the details. Master the tiny things. The impact is bigger than you think. Lesson 3. Take full responsibility. There comes a moment in life when you realize a harsh truth. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not luck, not fate. Waiting for someone else to fix your life only keeps you stuck in the same patterns, the same regrets, the same unfulfilled potential. You are responsible for where you are right now, your habits, your decisions, your mindset. Blaming the past, blaming others, blaming circumstances only steals your power. Every excuse is a brick in the cage that holds you back. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. One complains about unfairness, doubts, and obstacles. The other looks at the same situation and asks, "What can I do now?" One remains stuck. The other finds a way forward. Responsibility is the difference between stagnation and progress. Taking full responsibility doesn't mean you deny hardship or ignore obstacles. It means you acknowledge your role in your life and reclaim control. You own your time, your energy, your mistakes, and your successes. You stop waiting for validation, for permission, for rescue. The people who achieve greatness don't wait for the world to hand them opportunities. They create them. They understand that growth, freedom, and fulfillment start with owning every choice, every thought, and every action. Responsibility is freedom. Because once you stop blaming and start building, you realize the only thing standing between you and the life you want is yourself. And that's a power few ever claim. So stop blaming, stop complaining, stop hoping someone else will make it easy. Take full responsibility for your life. Own it, shape it, and move forward without regret. Lesson 4. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Life doesn't hand out success. It doesn't care about talent, luck, or even how hard you feel you're working. The truth is harsh. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Most people give up at the first sign of discomfort, the first obstacle, or the first rejection. And that's exactly why few ever reach greatness. Challenges are not punishments. They are tests. They reveal who you are, who you want to be, and how far you're willing to go. Every time life pushes back, it's asking, are you willing to fight when no one is cheering? Are you willing to step forward when every reason to quit is louder than any reason to continue? Imagine someone waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for support that never comes. That person stays stuck, dreaming of a life they will never live. Now imagine someone who steps into discomfort anyway. They push, they fail, they learn, and they grow stronger with every misstep. That person becomes unstoppable because they refuse to let excuses dictate their destiny. Freedom begins with the realization that no one owes you anything. Not your boss, not your friends, not your family, not even the world. You owe it to yourself to rise, to fight, to build, to overcome. When fear comes, face it. When doubt whispers, push harder. When failure knocks, get up stronger. Success isn't about being the smartest, the fastest, or the luckiest. It's about persistence, resilience, and the courage to keep moving when every sign says stop. Every step you take in spite of fear is a step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. So stop blaming others. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. Step forward now, even when it's hard. Because greatness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the courage to fight for it when no one else will. And when you do, you won't just survive. You'll thrive, unstoppable and unshakable. Lesson 5. Action beats imagination. Dreaming feels good. It's safe, warm, and comforting. You imagine success, the life you want, the respect you desire. You see yourself achieving it in your mind, and it gives a pleasant thrill. But here's the problem. Dreaming alone does nothing. It's not progress. It's only a fantasy. Many people spend years imagining what they could do instead of actually doing it. They feel like they're moving forward while they're standing still. Meanwhile, the world doesn't wait for dreams. It rewards action. Every big accomplishment, every life transformed, starts with someone choosing to act instead of just imagine. Picture two people with the same dream. One plans, overthinks, and visualizes endlessly. The other takes imperfect action today, learns from mistakes, and keeps moving. One is still dreaming next year. The other is already ahead, growing stronger, smarter, and closer to their goal. Action is messy. Action is uncomfortable. Action requires sacrifice. It means waking up when you're tired, facing fear, and pushing through frustration. But it is the only thing that transforms ideas into results, vision into reality, and potential into achievement. Stop hiding in the fantasy of one day. Stop convincing yourself that thinking is enough. Dreams are the spark, but action is the fuel that lights the fire. Do something today, no matter how small, that your future self will thank you for. Take imperfect steps, make mistakes, learn, and move forward. Because in the end, action always beats imagination. Lesson 6. Leave the old you behind. Growth demands a harsh truth. Who you were yesterday is not who you need to be today. The boy in you, hesitant, insecure, afraid of rejection, must be left behind. If you cling to old fears, old habits, old comfort, you will never reach the life you're capable of. Transformation doesn't happen by wishing. It doesn't come from hope or planning alone. It comes from deliberate action, from deciding that the old version of yourself has run its course. It's about shedding weakness and excuses like worn-out skin and stepping fully into the person you are meant to become. Imagine someone standing at the edge of two paths. One is familiar, safe, predictable. The other is uncertain, challenging, demanding. The familiar path keeps the boy alive. The challenging path builds the man. Every choice, every discomfort you embrace, every fear you face shapes the stronger version of yourself. To leave the old you behind, you must confront your insecurities, your laziness, and your doubts. You must accept that pain, struggle, and failure are part of the process. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, the new you grows stronger, sharper, and more resilient. People who achieve greatness don't just improve, they rebuild themselves. They shed the habits, thoughts, and fears that once held them back. And slowly, imperceptibly, they become unrecognizable to the version of themselves they once were. So stop holding on to what you used to be. Kill the hesitation, the self-doubt, the excuses. Step into discomfort, embrace challenge, and allow the man you are becoming to rise from the ashes of the old you. Lesson 7. Stop waiting. Start grinding. Here's a truth few are ready to hear. Nobody cares. Not about your feelings, your struggles, or your excuses. Life doesn't pause for your comfort. It doesn't notice when you're tired, stressed, or discouraged. And that's the gift hidden in the harshness. Once you accept it, you are free to act without expecting validation. Imagine two people with the same goal. One complains when obstacles appear, waits for help, and hopes someone notices their effort. The other works silently, pushes through fatigue, and solves problems without approval. One remains stuck. The other grows unstoppable. This is what separates those who succeed from those who drift. The willingness to keep moving when no one is watching. Discipline replaces motivation. Commitment outweighs applause. Hard work done consistently, even in solitude, compounds into results no one can ignore. The world doesn't owe you attention or encouragement. That's not a reason to quit. It's a reason to grind harder. Every rejection, every failure, every ignored effort is an opportunity to sharpen yourself, to build habits that outlast comfort, and to become stronger than anyone imagined. Stop waiting for recognition. Stop expecting help. Start grinding. Every hour you dedicate, every action you take, even when it's unseen, is a brick in the foundation of your future. Because when you finally step into the spotlight, you won't need applause. Your results will speak for themselves. Lesson 8. Transform beyond recognition. Improvement isn't enough. Small changes, tiny upgrades, or incremental progress won't make the difference you're looking for. True transformation demands something deeper. It demands that you become unrecognizable, even to yourself. Think about it. The world around you expects you to stay the same. Friends, family, routines. They all anchor you to who you were. Transformation isn't about pleasing them or staying comfortable. It's about demolishing the old version of yourself and building someone stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. Imagine someone trying to change without going deep. They start a new habit, push a little harder, feel a momentary thrill, but they soon slip back. Real change doesn't allow slip-ups. It demands discomfort, struggle, and patience. It's messy, it's brutal, and it's relentless. To become unrecognizable, you must let go of old fears, excuses, and limitations. Every habit that held you back must be confronted. Every thought that made you settle must be challenged. Every part of your comfort zone that seduces you into stagnation must be burned down. Those who achieve extraordinary lives don't just improve, they reinvent. They embrace pain as fuel, failure as feedback, and struggle as the forge of strength. And slowly, the new version emerges, stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. So stop aiming to get better. Stop chasing minor wins. Become a version of yourself that shocks the old you, a person the world didn't expect, and in doing so, unlock the life you were always capable of living. Lesson 9. Own challenge. The world will test you. Every dream, every goal, every ambition comes with resistance. People will doubt you. Circumstances will push back. Life will throw obstacles that seem unfair, unnecessary, or impossible. And most will tell you to shrug it off, to not take it personally. But here's the truth. If you don't take it personally, nothing changes. If you don't feel the weight of challenge in your chest, you won't fuel the fire needed to rise. Pain, doubt, and rejection aren't punishments, they're signals. They're indicators that your next level is waiting, and it won't be reached without effort. Imagine seeing someone else living the life you desire. Your first reaction is often envy, distraction, or denial. But take it personally. Let it ignite a drive so strong that watching others succeed pushes you to act, not complain. Take it personally when people doubt you, when opportunities are denied, when life seems indifferent. Let it sharpen your focus and ignite your determination. History is filled with people who refuse to ignore challenges. Every setback became a lesson, every insult a motivator, every obstacle a step higher. They didn't let the world dictate their limits, they used it to exceed them. So stop scrolling, stop laughing it off, stop letting life's indifference numb you. Own the challenge, take it personally. Transform every doubt, every failure, every criticism into fuel, and let that fire push you toward the life that others only dream of. To Lesson 10, act. Before time runs out. Time doesn't wait. It doesn't pause for motivation, comfort, or fear. Every second you spend hesitating is a second you'll never reclaim. Yet most people live as if they have endless tomorrows. They wait for the right moment, the perfect conditions, or some external push. But life doesn't work that way. The clock is ticking, and the world moves on, indifferent to your delays. Imagine two people with the same goal. One keeps planning, waiting for motivation, for the perfect day, for the ideal conditions. The other starts now unsure, imperfect, maybe even afraid. Years later, the first is still waiting. The second is ahead, stronger, closer to the life they imagined. That's the power of acting before time slips away. Procrastination is the silent thief of dreams. I'll start tomorrow. I need more preparation. I'm not ready yet. Every excuse steals a piece of your future. Each delay compounds, making the journey harder and the opportunities rarer. Time doesn't forgive, and it doesn't slow down. Action is the antidote. Every step you take today compounds into the person you will become tomorrow. The first small decision to act, even when uncertain, sets off a chain reaction. Momentum builds. Confidence grows. The path becomes clearer as you move, not as you wait. The painful truth? Waiting guarantees regret. Waiting guarantees lost potential. Waiting ensures that dreams remain fantasies, not reality. The only way to fight back is to act imperfectly, immediately, relentlessly. Start before you feel ready. Start when it's uncomfortable. Start even if you're unsure. Your life is a sum of moments. Each tick of the clock is a chance to choose action over hesitation. Every choice to move forward, to try, to fight, to learn, that is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Stop waiting. Stop planning endlessly. Start now. One decision, one step, one moment of courage, that's all it takes to begin transforming your life. Because time is the one opponent you can never beat, and the only way to win is to act before it runs out. Lesson 11. Comfort is the enemy. Comfort is seductive. It whispers that everything is fine, that there's no need to push, no need to risk, no need to grow. It lulls people into a false sense of security, and most never realize how dangerous it is. The moment you choose comfort over challenge, you begin to shrink slowly, almost invisibly, away from your potential. The world is full of people chasing ease. They want less stress, less responsibility, and fewer risks. And in chasing comfort, they sacrifice progress. Dreams fade, opportunities slip by, and talents go untapped. Comfort doesn't feel like a prison at first, but over time, it becomes one. It softens resolve, weakens will, and teaches the mind to settle for less than what is possible. Growth, strength, and transformation exist outside comfort. Every challenge you face, every fear you confront, every risk you take is uncomfortable. That's exactly why it matters. Fire that forges strength never burns in a cozy room. It ignites only where the air is cold, the path is uncertain, and the heart is trembling. Imagine walking through life seeking comfort. You'll end up predictable, mediocre, and unfulfilled. But when you choose discomfort deliberately, you awaken. Every struggle, every moment of uncertainty teaches resilience. Every time you endure pain, face rejection, or step into the unknown, you expand your limits and reshape your character. The enemy isn't failure, struggle, or challenge. It's comfort. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever could. It disguises itself as safety, but hides stagnation and regret. To rise, to evolve, to live a life without regrets, you must reject ease, seek challenge, embrace uncertainty, step into discomfort daily, because that is where the real you awakens, and where your greatest potential finally comes to life. Lesson 12. Face your shadow. Everyone wants to show their light, the confident smile, the achievements, the success. But very few dare to face their shadow. Your shadow is everything you hide: fear, anger, jealousy, self-doubt, insecurity. It's uncomfortable, ugly, and often painful to acknowledge. Yet it's also the most powerful teacher you'll ever have. Avoiding your shadow doesn't make it disappear. It grows quietly, influencing your decisions, your relationships, and your potential. Every fear you ignore, every insecurity you deny, every suppressed emotion becomes a chain that holds you back. It's invisible, but its weight is real. The moment you confront your shadow, you reclaim control. You stop letting unacknowledged fears dictate your actions. You understand your weaknesses and use them as fuel, rather than excuses. Anger becomes motivation. Fear becomes preparation, and insecurity becomes awareness. The shadow isn't your enemy. It's a mirror showing you exactly what you need to overcome. Imagine someone who refuses to face their dark side. They smile in public, appear confident, but inside, doubt controls every decision. Now imagine someone who confronts their shadow daily. Every fear faced, every flaw acknowledged, every uncomfortable truth accepted, strengthens them. They become unstoppable because nothing inside or outside can surprise them anymore. Power doesn't come from pretending to be perfect. It comes from honesty, courage, and willingness to face the parts of yourself you least want to see. Until you meet your shadow, it controls you. Once you face it, you master it. So don't hide. Don't ignore. Look at your shadow, accept it, and learn from it. The path to greatness isn't just about building light. It's about embracing darkness and transforming it into strength. That is where true freedom begins, and that is where a life without regret is forged. Lesson 13. Build a legacy, not an ego. Ego wants attention. Legacy wants impact. Ego shouts, "Look at me." Legacy whispers, "I built something that matters." Most people live for the applause, the likes, the recognition. They chase validation instead of meaning, and in the end, they find only emptiness. True fulfillment comes from building, not performing. It comes from leaving a mark that lasts beyond your lifetime. It comes from shaping something meaningful, a skill, a creation, a mindset, a life that inspires others. The world will forget your selfies, your complaints, your fleeting moments of fame, but it will remember your contributions, your courage, and the lives you touch. Imagine someone spending years focused only on themselves, achievements, recognition, praise. They might feel successful for a moment, but eventually, the ego fades. Now imagine someone who spends the same years building others, creating value, leaving a trail of positive impact. That is legacy. That is immortality. Building a legacy isn't easy. It demands sacrifice, patience, and vision. It requires ignoring short-term validation and enduring challenges without recognition. It means putting purpose over comfort, action over applause, and contribution over self-centeredness. Every small choice you make in service of your legacy compounds over time, shaping a life that matters far beyond your own story. You don't have to be liked. You don't have to be admired. You only need to be remembered for the difference you made. And the remarkable truth is this: the same lessons that build your life also build your influence. Discipline, courage, resilience, and relentless action. These don't just elevate you, they inspire those around you. Think about the life you want to leave behind, the habits you cultivate, the mindset you embrace, the risks you take. All of these are bricks in the foundation of your legacy. Stop performing for the audience of today. Start building for the generations of tomorrow. And while you're taking these steps toward greatness, remember that inspiration is everywhere. Small lessons, shared stories, practical guidance, they can shape your mindset and fuel your journey. That's why channels like this exist, to give you the spark, the motivation, and the strategies to live intentionally, to act decisively, and to grow relentlessly. So as you reflect on your path, consider this: every choice you make today is part of your story. Build it with purpose. Build it with courage. Build it with impact. And if you're ready to take the next step, to keep learning, growing, and transforming alongside others who are committed to living without regret, make sure to subscribe. Here you'll find motivation that doesn't just inspire, it equips you to act, to improve, and to leave a legacy worth remembering. Because life is short, time is precious, and the only thing that truly lasts is what you build. Don't chase applause, chase meaning. Don't live for recognition, live to inspire, and never ever settle for a life that leaves no mark.